Before this video begins, be sure to check out my video regarding of the questions and answers. Basically, make sure to write down all your questions in that video. I will leave links down below in the description and also pinned down the comments. Thank you so much and enjoy this video. How are you doing, guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to talk about regarding the Final Fantasy 14. But before that, happy and Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully you had a fantastic day, also the presents and surprises on top of that you've received, and overall just Merry Christmas everybody. Now back on track regarding this video. I just wanted to talk about, and more or less I have few questions of the game Final Fantasy 14. When I'm looking at this game, I do understand this is more of an MMORPG genre of a game, so I do know that there's going to be very big differences compared to what I usually like to play in my games. For example, I like to play Red Dead Redemption 2, I like to play God of War, Spider-Man, Call of Duty in some cases, of course, Destiny maybe is a couple of times, why the hell not. I do like to play the role-playing games, Outer Worlds, you know, Fallout, well, better Fallouts obviously, Skyrim, why the hell not, Grand Theft Auto games. As you can see and hear, I like playing these sort of games. They are the games of a AAA standards, AAA titles as well. A couple of them are not so much into AA standards, like the Outer Worlds as an example. I do like to play, I don't mind them, and that's the thing. I've got a couple of questions regarding the Final Fantasy 14 that I'm quite torn about. Basically, when I'm looking at these gameplays, I don't quite understand what exactly is that I'm seeing. I don't quite understand what the hell is even going on here. Especially, oh my god, especially talking about the combat. The combat, as I understand anyway, there is basically sections of any attacks that you can do. There's always those going to be of a cooldowns. You have to time them correctly, or it could mean doom for you, obviously, or you could be, you know, critically wounded. Well, I would say that wounded, I don't mean as wounded, obviously you can't seem to get wounded, like you just lose your health XP, or health points, HP. Just help HP basically, and obviously lower you get, more troublesome you might get into the progression of you trying to kill this specific enemy or whatever else. Alright, so basically you could be playing this online, and obviously Final Fantasy 14 is online obviously, but yes, you're playing with so many people out there, and it's just that I don't quite understand what I'm seeing here. I have heard so many fantastic things regarding Final Fantasy 14, and I just can't understand why they're so great. Now, I'm sure you're gonna be telling me down in the comments saying, for example, well, take a look at this video, for example. They do a very good explanation for beginners to understand what the hell that is, or maybe how you will, you know, perhaps you can get into the Final Fantasy games, well, specifically the 14th online, and with the very recent release of an expansion, you know, the Shadowbringers. I really want to get into this game. I do know this game is extremely grindy and perhaps even very, very repetitive in a lot of cases. Now, I can't be for certain. Obviously, I did not play. Oh god, when I'm thinking about it now, I never played any Final Fantasy games. None of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to 15, and I never played any of them. I need to clarify this actually. I don't particularly like JRPG games. What is JRPG in my understanding is basically like a Persona 5. You know, you wait for that certain moment when you're about to hit the character or the enemy, whatever, right? And then he takes the attack at you. Maybe if you're too strong, then you will miss that attack, or you have an armor to deflect that attack, counter attack it. Maybe sometimes you can get your own friends in that JRPG elements in there as well, as an example. That's more of a JRPG, and I don't really like it. Well, it's not because I've tried it and I got sick of it, it's just because I don't particularly think that I will like it. Now, this is extremely hypocritical for me to say this, right? I never played MMORPG, I never played JRPGs, never played them, and yet I'm talking about these things as if I would know that I definitely would not like them. You know, I understand it's a very bad thing for me to say this on specifically on this video, that I'm trying to understand what is Final Fantasy XIV and what makes it so great. I have looked through so many videos on YouTube, spoiler free by the way, spoiler free, just to understand what the hell is Final Fantasy XIV and why is it so good, why so many people give so much praiseworthiness for this game, especially with the Shadowbringers. And Shadowbringers, mind you, it was a big deal with the marketing wise and everything like that. Well, as an example, Tom Holland, advertising Final Fantasy XIV, the Shadowbringers anyway, and so that's kind of gain my attention a little bit. Skill Up always talking about it as an example that this game is fantastic on so many regards in so many ways, that's simply phenomenal and probably a masterpiece in a game as well. I just don't understand why this game is so great. Now I should probably mention this as well. I'm worried that if I do pick up this game and I'll start playing it, I'm worried I'm just gonna abandon it after playing it for 2 to 3 hours and I'm just never gonna get into it. That's why I don't want to commit into this game. That's why I want to understand it first. On top of that, I've also looked through online and I noticed that this game, specifically Final Fantasy XIV, is a subscription based. I don't really like that, and I'm pretty sure it was like 12 to 13 euros, that's the euros I'm talking about, per month. Is that correct? Basically, I do know up to certain of the degree to leveling, I think it was level 30 or level 35, you can play this game completely for free until you get to that level. After, of course, you can get the subscriptions, and then you can a lot more content will be opened up for you and you can do a lot more stuff. And yes, I do know you can get this game to some kind of merry degree for free on a PC, but I'm talking about specifically on a PlayStation 4, and I do know it's insane. I'm just looking at these gameplay. Also, I'm actually while I'm talking about this, I'm looking at the specific gameplay right in front of me. I don't understand what I'm saying. All these objectives, all these individual structures and texts on the sides of the screen. What the hell does this half of stuff even mean? You know what I'm talking about? You go up, approach to the market, to the shop, and you see all these different prices, these different things and items that you can make a purchase of. They all have the different and individual, scales and the ranks and buffs as such as like that. I do know these sort of aspects of the game. Why? It's because I did play RPG games, like RPG, not JRPG, not MMORPG. MMORPG, as an example that I understand as well, it's more like you play pretty much forever and never end the game. Like it just continues on, never end, pretty much. I do know there's a story, I do know that there's an end game, I do know there's some kind of dungeons elements in there. It's just that. Talking about the MMO games, I don't know if that counts as an RPG, but I do believe Elder Scrolls Online, right? Is that an MMORPG? Because I definitely did play that, and I got sick of it because it was so boring, because I just had to go back forward, and it was just the curve, or learning curve, mind you, is so extreme. I was just like, I'm done with this. I'm abandoning this game as an example. I played a lot of it before, but I could not continue on playing. There was so much curve of learning that I had to do. It was insane. And on top of that, the controls of fightings was pretty horrible in my opinion. I did not like it. But this looks something different. This looks something interesting. And the magic-wise, well, magic and aspects of it, of course, makes sense why it could be the main plot, main combat. Obviously, I do know there's like bow and arrows. They could be using some melee weapons as an example too. I do know there's a very, very deep curve that you need to learn and to understand for you to really respect this game and as well liking it. But I'm extremely torn, and I'm worried that if I'll end up picking this game up, I'm just not gonna like it. And the thing is, I want to appreciate it, what it strives to do. I want to like it, what it's trying to do as well. Like, it's just that I'm worried that I'm not gonna get into the game because I don't understand it. And that quite happened a lot. I personally think it might have happened because of the Elder Scrolls Online. That might have been the reason why I abandoned it pretty much. But here, the learning curve is insane. I'm looking at the gameplay again. On the bottom corner in the middle, there's so many of these little perks or wherever they are anyway. I'm like, what the fuck is happening on the screen? I'm so confused. Like I'm so confused. Like I can, if you look through individual aspects of the things that you can look, they have different names, different combinations, different aspects of different things. It's insane. I'm looking at the gameplay. It looks like a sluggish shit, kinda, but I know it's definitely very, very good, because I've heard a lot of people saying it's a fantastic gameplay, it's a fantastic story, it's fantastic the way it strive to do something in here, but I just do not understand it at all. There's some kind of current rotations and whatnot. I don't know what are these buffs, what are these circling things anyway meaning. I understand basically you can pull them off. How do you pull them off on a controller? I have got zero clue. How do you manage to pull, how do you, like, on a controller, there's not that many buttons for you to utilize to actually make sure that you hit the correct one, whatever you are trying to do, right? Maybe you do a heavy attack, maybe you do a light attack. On a PlayStation 4 controller, well, if we would talk about Dark Souls, right? R1 is a heavy, well, light attack, R2 is a heavy attack. In here, there's so much more. Holy God. And I'm just like confused as hell, and I don't understand how you can pull off with so many aspects of these attacks in a controller. Maybe I'm missing something, and as you can see and hear, I don't understand. I really do not understand, and I'm just questioning all these. I'm questioning myself if I would like this game, and I really want to like it. Maybe you could tell me down in the comments what is it so special about this game that I'm missing out, or what is this that makes it so great. It's hard to explain, man. It's just I'm seeing a game, I'm puzzled more than anything. maybe it's an interesting thing. Maybe it's an interesting aspects of me to be reacting like this, but I don't know. It's still interesting though, personally for me. But still, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. To see you guys all later. And yeah, have a good one.